Once again, I'm a little behind the news here as I was on vacation last week up in Alaska, and just getting around to being able to talk about some of these news stories. As you have heard by now, we're sliding economically. The jobs report was much worse than they anticipated, and they even revised June down to being a negative number. We lost 13,000 jobs. Let's just really quickly take a look at this.
2,000 jobs added in the month of August. That was much less than the expectation of 75,000, guys. The July number was revised. I will get to revisions in a moment. Unemployment rate coming in as expected, 4.3%. So that would be higher than July's 4.2%. Again, 22,000 jobs added in August. Let me get you the revisions because this is what everybody is focused on. For June and July together, combined 21,000 jobs lower than previously reported. I'll categorize that now. So you see for June, it was revised down by 27,000, getting you to negative 13,000, and the change for July up by 6,000, getting you to 79,000. Healthcare added 31,000 jobs, guys. The federal government continued to decline. Federal government in August down 15,000 and is down by 97,000 since its peak in January. Manufacturing employment changed little, down 12,000, down 4 months in a row, down 78,000 over the year. I'll send it back to you as I continue to go through this report. But as you can see, the market, at least the Dow, lifting off the lows in the pre-market on this data, weaker than expected.
It really did, Charles Payne. And really quick, I just want to say here, private payrolls coming in, the expectation was 75,000. We got 38,000. And there was a loss of 16,000 jobs in government, which I think Lauren mentioned. But again, you know, that 22,000 number, Charles, it's a weaker than expected number. And these revisions are pretty brutal.
Yeah, extraordinarily. Gone through. I mentioned healthcare, 31,000. The 12-month average is 42,000. That had been obviously a massive driver, and we know the demographic situation there. Just a little disappointed. Manufacturing was hoping to maybe see something there. But it's just, I think for the most part, if there was a whisper number, and I'm sure there was, this might be right where the whisper number is. And this is a sweet spot, I think, from the market's perspective. You can see the major averages are moving higher. It's not so bad that we're thinking recession, but it's bad enough that we think maybe the Fed could be much more accommodative beyond September.
So, of course, use the bad jobs number to attack the Fed again. This is now Donald Trump's economy 110%, right? There is nothing can be blamed on Obama, nothing can be blamed on Biden, nothing can be blamed on Democrats. The House has held the Republicans have held the House of Representatives where the purse strings are controlled for the last 2 sessions. They now have the Senate and the White House. This is Donald Trump's economy full-throated. 78,000 manufacturing jobs we've lost this year. 78,000. And don't give me this bullshit, short-term pain for long-term gain. No, we're 9 months into this. You got the big, beautiful bill. We are sliding. We've only added 22,000 jobs in August. We lost 13,000 jobs in June. And this is after you fired the person who gave you the numbers before because you didn't like them. You're going to fire this one now? This is the guy, these are the people you replaced the other people with because you wanted to hear the numbers you wanted to hear. Well, here are the numbers. Your economy is doing what it did the last fucking time. When you got the 2017 Trump tax cuts, you plateaued our economy. You oversaw the creation of 1.4 million fewer jobs in your first 3 years last time than Obama saw in his last 3 years. You got the big tax breaks in 2017, and then our economy plateaued before it fell off a cliff during a pandemic. Now you're back in, you got your big, beautiful bill, and our economy is plateauing. You're flattening everything out. As a matter of fact, it's probably going to start to see a downward spin. 13,000 jobs lost in June, months after you came in and got what you wanted. 78,000 manufacturing jobs lost so far this year. Tens of thousands of employees fired by you directly, the federal government. Your gas isn't cheaper. Your grocery prices haven't plummeted. And now we're going to go through this again. I don't know how many times people need to see it before they wake the fuck up. And next year when you file your taxes and you're pissed off at how much money you owe the federal government, just look around and see who's in control of it and ask yourself, why didn't they do what they told you they were going to do? Why didn't they lower your costs? Why didn't they lower your taxes? Why didn't they this? Why didn't they that? Because they never had any intention of doing any of that. They don't give a fuck. They only care about you when it's time to vote. And they got you to vote the way they needed you to vote. Now you can fuck off for another couple of years.